Hi y'all, my name is Belle and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an exciting challenge called Do You Have That Book on Your Shelf? Now, I've never done a booktube challenge before considering I quit booktube a while ago after I think it was only like 4 videos. But I'm back, I'm giving it another try, so we will see how this goes. Let's get into this! So I'm not giving myself a timer for this. I'm just gonna kind of go off on a whim, and we're gonna see how this goes. So I have a list of questions here on my iPad, and that goes up to 20 questions. So I'm gonna try and get all 20 questions done. I have a feeling there's gonna be a few that I won't be able to find, but we'll see. So let's start with, do you have a book with deckled edges? This one does. Okay. Do you have a book with 3 or more people on the cover? Crap. I have to. This counts, right? Yes, we're gonna go with that. Do you have a book based on another fictional story? Yes, I do. Right here. Okay. I grabbed the ARC. I could have grabbed the finished copy, but oh well. Do you have a book with a title 10 letters long? Gosh. How many letters? 6, 4. Got one. Yay! Do you have a book with a title that starts and ends with the same letter? Oh, here's one. Yes, okay. Do you have a mass market paperback book? Yes, I do, down here. I don't really want to grab that one. I'm grabbing this one. Okay. Do you have a book written by an author using a pen name? Of course I do. Where is it, is the question. I mean, technically, is this a pen name? Because she used a different name on her other books, so we're gonna go with that. If I can get it out of the shelf, that is. Oh shoot, I think that was the book that I needed for this next question. Do you have a book with 2 maps in it? I'm gonna skip because I'm positive I don't have a book that has 2 maps in it. Do you have a book that was turned into a TV show? Yes, I do. This one's very basic, but it's the first one I saw, so we're going with it. Do you have a book written by someone who was originally famous for something else? I know I do. Question is, where is it? Gosh. Put that down. Oh, where is it? There it is. This one nobody will know unless they already watched the movie. You have a book with a clock on the cover. The best thing about climbing on stuff, that shelf is not even secure, the one I just stepped on. It's not even bolted into the wall. It is taped down. So if it fell, I would have gone with it. Oh man. Man, where in the world? I could have sworn I had a manga that had at least one clock on the cover, but apparently not. Okay, come on, Toilet Bound Hanako. Yes! Let's see. Do you have a poetry book? Yes, I do. It's over here. And it has a bookmark in it because I never finished reading it. Do you have a book with an award stamp on it? Of course I do. Where is it, though? It's a great question. Let's see. Here it is. Do you have a book written by an author with the same initials as you? I was just thinking about this question the other day. It would have been great if I remembered if I did or not.
I'm pretty sure it's not an author who has the same initials of I.E. I could try going with B.E. because it's my nickname, but we're not going to do that. We're going to move on. I'm pretty sure I don't. Pretty sure I don't. We're going to see, though. All the authors I have either have an S as their last name, an L as their last name, or an M. That's about it. I don't really see many authors with E starting last names.
This is great. I just love knowing that there's not a single author with my initials. I'm gonna call it. It's a no. I don't. And I'm pretty sure there's not a single one unless there's another Isabella E out there, but we'll see. Do you have a book of short stories? Oh, an anthology? I'm sure I do. Here it is. I just bought this one. I actually bought it from Barnes & Noble, where I work, and then I found it for cheaper at another store, so I took my copy back. Do you have a book that is between 500 and 510 pages? How long does it have to be? 500 to 510? That's like an oddly specific page number count. Why couldn't it have been 530 or 28? How is this? What in the world? Oh my goodness, no, it counts by book page numbers. Okay, so I looked at the very back of this book, and it said 279, and I'm like, there is no way there's only 279 pages in this. Absolutely no way. Okay, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say no. I'm sure there's something on my shelves over there, but I'm not going over there right now because that's a whole nother climbing adventure, and I don't feel like putting my other foot through some pain. So, do you have a book that was turned into a movie? Absolutely, I do. Where is it, though? Funny, I just sold my assortment of glass books.
Is that Walt starting to turn into a movie? Or is that just somebody posting their wishes for it? I don't know. I'm gonna stay away from that one because I'm pretty sure that's not what I'm looking for.
Wasn't this turned into a movie recently? Or was it a TV show? I don't know. We're going with it. I haven't watched it, so probably. Do you have a graphic novel? I have manga. Graphic novel? I have to. I have to have at least one. I think I got rid of it. Oh my goodness. I don't have a graphic novel. I have a manga, so I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna grab one of my favorite mangas. That's a difficult choice. Why would I say that? We're just gonna grab a manga. Any one of them. We'll go with this one. I mean, this is technically one of my favorites. We'll go with that. Do you have a book written by 2 or more authors? Of course I do. Here's one. I don't have a finished copy of this. How did this rip? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, that's it. That is all of them. Except a few questions that I did not get finished. So we're going to go from the bottom up, and we'll go from there. So, do you have a book written by 2 or more authors? I sure do. And that book is The Raging Ones by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is a sister co-author group, and I absolutely love them. They are amazing authors. Their story, this one, I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. I was actually sent a review digital galley by the publisher, and I didn't read it until the year after it came out because I had forgotten I had it. And I loved it so much that I put a call out to get a physical arc to finish it off, and I absolutely loved it. Ended up getting the sequel in arc format the same way because they only sent me a digital arc for the sequel. And I love the sequel just as much. So if you haven't picked up The Raging Ones yet, I would highly suggest doing so. It is a kind of sci-fi fantasy on a alternate world almost, with people that aren't technically human beings. And they're kind of like, I don't know how to describe it because it's been a while since I read it. But I love it so much that you should just pick it up, okay? That's my suggestion. I loved it that much, you need to pick it up. Next question is, do you have a graphic novel? I don't, but I have manga. I have plenty of manga, and the manga I chose is Blue Flag by Kaito. I absolutely love this manga. I have sold it so much at work that we are currently out of copies, and by out of copies, I mean we've been out of copies for the last month, because I keep selling it and we can't get it back in fast enough to actually keep them on the shelf. But this is basically, how do you put it? Almost like a love triangle if the triangle had 2 like perpetuating sides. And by that I mean she is in love with him, he's in love with him, but her best friend is also in love with her. And it's like this LGBTQ plus manga that you just can't get over because it's adorable, and things start happening that just it makes you scream, because it's like, oh, I just want these 2 characters, or technically these 4 characters, to end up happy together. But that's not the way it goes. It's very like heart-wrenching, and I mean there's 6 volumes out right now. You can't really see them, they're right here. But the 7th one, I'm waiting for the 7th one because something just happened at the end of volume 6 that literally made me scream. I was like, why would you do that? Why would you end it like that? But of course, Kaito wants to make us feel, so that's how it goes. But highly suggest it. It's an amazing manga. Would 10 out of 10 recommend. I mean, if people are interested enough to buy it from a store, from a stranger, then you should buy it from the booktubers. So yes. All right, next question is, do you have a book that was turned into a movie? I do, and that is Moxie by Jennifer Matthew. I actually just picked this book up, so I have no clue what it's about. I saw the previews for the movie going, and I'm like, oh, that seems interesting, so I picked up the book. I've heard mixed reviews on it. I don't actually know if I'll like it. It just seemed like an interesting story. So yeah, now I own it, and I have no clue if I'll like it or not, but fingers crossed. I'm pretty sure I will. We'll see. So, yeah. Do you have a book that is between 500 and 510 pages? I do not. Do you have a book of short stories? I do on that one. And that is out now, Queer We Go Again, and this is edited by Sandra Mitchell. It's a collection of stories featuring queer teens today from the editor of All Out. And it has multiple authors on here, like Kosoko Jackson. Let's see, other ones. Mark Oshiro, Jessica Verdi, C.B. Lee, Hilary Monahan. Some of these authors I haven't heard of. Catherine Locke I have heard of. Elliot Schruffer I haven't heard of. But there's like a whole list of authors back here. I'll go ahead and hold it up for you. There are a couple that I will be skipping in here just because I'm not happy with how they have turned out. But I'm really, really excited for this book. As a bi and demi romantic teen, I'm really, really excited for this book, so I can't wait to read it. Do you have a book with an author, by an author with the same initials as you? I do not. Do you have a book with an award stamp on it? I do. And that book is We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. I don't know what stamp this is, though. Let's see. Michael J. Prince Award for Excellence in Young Adult Literature. Cool. I don't know what this book is about. This is another one I was recommended, told I need to read it, and I decided, you know what, let's do it. I will read it. And it's pretty short, so I'm excited when I do get around to reading it that I'll be able to finish it in maybe like a day and a half. I hope. We'll see. But it looks great. I love covers like this, like drawn artistic covers that play with like colors and stuff. I really like that. I don't know. I'm excited to read it. That's all I know. So yeah, I mean, just look how pretty this cover is. Like gorgeous pink against blue with stars, or maybe that's snow. I don't know. So next question is, do you have a poetry book? I do, and that would be Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. And this is a Barnes & Noble classic. It's an old one. As you can see, I had to tape the spine. There's a lot in here. I was not expecting as many poems to be in here, but I'm not a fan of poetry by any means either. The only reason I picked this up is because it is heavily talked about in We Contain Multitudes by Sarah Henstraw, which is one of my absolute favorite books. It literally helped me find a lot out about myself. And so I liked a lot of the sayings in that book so much that I was like, you know what, I want to go pick up his other works. And I mean, this is a lot of his works, so hopefully I'll like all of them as much as I like the ones that were briefly discussed in that book, so we will see. But I've heard a lot of people talk about Walt Whitman, and he is constantly referenced in a lot of situations, so I don't know, maybe it's time for me to get into poetry, I guess. You have a book with a clock on the top. I do. It's a manga, and it is number 6, so volume 6 of Toilet Bound Hanako-kan. I have to tell y'all, I watched the anime before I read the manga for this book, and it was so funny that I went and searched 3 different stores for volume 1 because every store that originally carried them was sold out completely. So I ended up driving, and this was originally when the anime came out, so I want to say like a year, maybe a year and a half ago. I'm pretty sure it was in February, maybe late March. No, because the world shut down, so I'm pretty sure it was February. But anyways, I drove by myself to not Naperville, Arlington Heights at Mitsuwa, where Kinokuniya Books is, and they had one in stock, and I got so happy. Ironically, I got in a car accident on my way home, so there's always going to be a memory of that with this series. Not a great memory because I was sobbing my eyes out, terrified that I was going to be killed when I got home, because that was my first car accident in a car that I technically don't own. But yeah, if you have not read Toilet Bound Hanako-kan, I would highly suggest doing so. It is a hilarious manga about a ghost who haunts the girls' bathroom in this high school, and he makes Nene, the main protagonist of this book, do his bidding basically because he saved her from turning into a fish. So if that doesn't interest you, I don't know what will, but this series is just absolutely hilarious. I am very interested in how Hanako died because obviously he's a ghost. Something must have happened. And he also has a twin brother who is more evil than him. So, I mean, twin evil brothers, and they all haunt this one school. That has to interest you, just even a little bit. Do you have a book written by someone who was originally famous for something else? I do. This one is a light novel, technically just a regular novel because there's not actually any pictures in it. I haven't read this one, but I did read his other one, Weathering with You, and that is Makoto Shinkai. He is a Japanese film director. He is the director of Your Name, Weathering with You, and he also has 2 other books that he wrote. One of them, the Garden of Words, he wrote by himself, but the other one I think he co-wrote with somebody else or created the original story, and they just either translated it or rewrote it. I don't know, but his name is on it, so I have it. I absolutely love him. He is honestly both translated works, or not both, but the Weathering with You one, I ended up reading it the first time before the movie came out because I wanted to go see the movie, but then the world shut down. And I really, really love that book. I mean, so much that I ended up using it for a novels class project, which is a class that is available at my high school. And my teacher was not that thrilled because it didn't really pertain to our activity, but I was convinced that we needed to do it that I needed to do it for that project. So, and I ended up getting a passing grade on it. So, you know, things work. But I'm really excited to read this one because I want to watch the movie so bad. Everybody talks about it all the time and I feel left out. So, I mean, it's short too. That one I think is a little bit longer, but honestly, I would highly suggest picking up the light novels before, if you haven't already seen the movie, or read the manga versions, because there are manga versions. There's Weathering with You Volume 2 just came out. I don't know if there's going to be a third one, but I know Your Name has a few as well. So yeah. Do you have a book that was turned into a TV show? Okay, this one is probably so overused, but A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I honestly picked this up because I don't want to watch the TV show before I read the book. And I keep hearing people talking about it. I see it all over Bookstagram all the time. And again, I feel left out, so I want to read it. And it's pretty hefty. Like, it's a hefty, chunky book. And I'm really excited for that. This is also an adult read, and I don't really delve into adult fiction all that much. So I'm excited to see what it's about. I'm excited to read it. The only thing I really know about it is that there's a witch and a vampire, and I don't really have many of those types of books on my shelves, so yeah, it needed to be added. Okay, do you have a book with a character's name in the title? I accidentally skipped this one, so I grabbed a copy, and that is Honey and Ishu's Guide to Fake Dating. This one doesn't come out till May 25th this year. I'm excited for it. Page Street ended up sending me this book because I'm the own voices for the representation in this book, and that is bisexual, and I'm so excited to read this. I mean, just look at this cover. Gorgeous pink blue. I love it. And I don't really know much about it other than that. But I'm really excited. I am over the moon. Like, I can't say anything other than excited for this book because that's all I am. But I'm just excited. I know I'm gonna love it. I have no doubt I'm gonna love it. And when I do love it, I cannot wait to pick up the author's other book, which is The Henna Wars, because I just have not gotten around to picking that up, and I keep seeing it at the store, and it keeps staring at me and calling to me, and I'm like, I know I have to pick you up, and I will one day when I get the money to do so. Do you have a book written by an author using a pen name? I think I do. So technically, Romina Garber is a pen name for her other books. I'm pretty sure she wrote the Zodiac series. Anyways, she has a different last name on her other books than she does on this one. I'm pretty sure her other books have Romina Russell on them, and this one has Romina Garber. But anyways, I love this book just as much. There is no reason, I don't really know, for the pen name, but I love Lobbyzona. This is absolutely one of my favorite books. My honey reads on Instagram, Destiny, they love Lobbyzona, so if you want to hear them rap about it, you can go check out their Instagram posts on Lobbyzona. But I cannot wait for Cazadora later this year. I am so excited for that book. This one honestly took me by surprise. I had a digital galley of this book, and when I was reading it, the beginning was a little hard for me to get into. It was just a little a tad bit slow. But once we got into the story and into the characters, I honestly fell in love so hard. And now I can't get past this book. I keep wanting to go reread it, and I'm like, I don't have the time. I have other books, and I keep having to stop myself from grabbing it off the shelf all the time. Do you have a mass market paperback? I do. And you guys probably didn't know that books like these existed, but Transformers Retribution. I am a huge Transformers fan. I am constantly asked if this tattoo on my wrist is wrist is supposed to be a Transformer. It's actually a wolf for you can't see it, it's out of shot, but Sandcastle Empire by Kate Olsen is up there on top of my shelf. And that is what I got this tattoo for. My very first lovable book. I love that book so much. But anyways, this is written by David J. Williams and Mark S. Williams. Judging by the last names, I'm assuming they're related, maybe brothers, but I'm pretty sure this is not the first book in whatever series this is, but I picked it up because at the time, Transformers Prime was coming to an end, and I needed something to satisfy that awful burning pit in my chest because that was my childhood show. And oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure it's like 8 to 10 years old now, or maybe I'm thinking of TMNT 2012, but Transformers 2012. Let me tell y'all, this show, whew, you need to watch it if you haven't already. Like, screw the Michael Bay movies. Those are trash. We don't talk about those. It's like the Avatar movie, we pretend they don't exist because they're that bad. The Transformers Prime show is completely worth your time, I promise you. It is amazing. There's just, oh my gosh. And then, honestly, I was not that big of a fan of the prequel show that came off of it with the new updated animation that they're using nowadays, because honestly, that animation is kind of ugly, but I miss it now that it was canceled. So, honestly, I highly suggest watching Transformers Prime if you haven't already. I grew up on that show, so it has like a sentimental value to me. Like, I miss Miko and Jack and Raphael. I miss them so much. Those characters were honestly the most teen characters I've seen in a Transformers show yet. And like with the Bayverse movies, you don't really get teens. You get adults dressed up as teens who aren't very good at playing teens. So that's that. But honestly, I'm so excited to read this. I'm pretty sure it's before they arrive on Earth, so it's still in the wartime with Megatron and Optimus Prime, as well as saving their planet Cybertron. But I haven't actually read this book. Now that I think about it, I probably should get around to it because I want to pick up the other books in the series. So yes. Do you have a book with a title that starts and ends with the same letter? I do, and that is, took me forever to find. Shadow Kiss by Rochelle Mead. This is, I think, the third book. I don't know. Third book in the Vampire Academy series. I read this book when I was in middle school. Well, not this book specifically, but the Vampire series as a whole in middle school. I think I was 12 or 13 when we got the books in at our school library. And I very specifically remember my friend at that time had taken the first book that I had wanted to read and I was waiting to put on hold, and I got mad, so I skipped it and went to the second book instead, and somehow I fell in love with the series through the second book, and just kind of moved on. But yeah, so the second book, I know Frostbite really does a thorough recapping of what the first book like what happens in the first book basically. So I guess that was easy for me to be able to just go off of the second book and forward, but I'm doing a reread of this series now. I love this series. It has a kind of like, it has a hold on me from being able to read it at such a young age, so I'm excited to reread it. I mean, this book is chunky. Do you have a book with a title 10 letters long? I do. I ended up getting an arc of this book through my job at Barnes & Noble. And I was not anticipating to love it as much as I did. I loved it so much that I picked up a physical copy on the day it came out, and that is Ground Zero by Alan Gratz. My brother is a history fanatic. Well, one of my brothers, I have two. Brody is a history fanatic, and I've been trying to find books that he might like to read. These books are very easy to understand, and honestly, this book made me cry so badly because it talks about 9/11. Unfortunately, this is the 20th anniversary this year that'll be happening. This one doesn't just talk about 9/11 and how bad it was. It delves into the scenes of as it's happening and what comes afterwards, the war that comes afterwards, the reasons for that war, and it really teaches kids that there was no reason for that war. It was just hate. It was literally just hate and retaliation against a country that didn't do it. It was just a group of people. So I highly suggest this book. It is amazing. really does thoroughly talk about everything, and it handles it in such a sensitive way, especially because this is middle grade. It handles it in a sensitive way that it won't like take away from the discussions, it'll add to them, if that makes sense. Do you have a book based on another fictional story? I do. And that is Sing Me Forgotten by Jessica Olsen. S. Olsen, my bad. This book is a Phantom of the Opera retelling, and I have been selling it like crazy at my store. She ended up sending in some beautiful, beautiful bookmarks that were part of her pre-order campaign for us to use to help promote and sell her book. And I can't tell y'all, we already sold out of the copies that we had, which has made me so thrilled. I'm so excited about that because this book is beautiful. I have not actually physically read this book yet. I mean, this book is beautiful. It is one of my highly anticipated reads, and I cannot wait to read it soon. I mean, just look at this cover. It is gorgeous. I love the gold. I love the bottle, like this glass bottle it's in. I love the font that they used and how it makes it look kind of grungy. I just love it so much. Do you have a book with 3 or more people on the cover? I do. And that is a sad book. Manga. Huge manga that is a collection of, I believe, 2 or 3 volumes in one. And that is Orange, and this is by Ichigo Takano. Oh my god, y'all. If you're looking to cry, if you're looking to hurt inside, this book will do it for you. There's 2 complete collections of this book, and I have yet to pick up the volume 2, the second one, because I know I'm going to be hurt even worse in that one than I was in this one. To be honest, I can't really remember much from this because it's been a long while since I've read it. I do remember the emotions and the feelings I felt when I was reading this book, and I'm just not quite yet ready to do that again, so I'm waiting just a little longer before I pick up the second complete collection. And I mean, just look at this. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous book. I love the art style. The characters and the storyline is one that'll make you really like delve deep into it, especially if you are the own voices representation for a lot of what's in this book. You'll be able to connect to it. Just make sure to read the trigger warnings beforehand. I wish I had done so, but yeah, this book is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful art. Do you have a book with deckled edges? Now, I apparently have quite a few of those since I grabbed other ones for previous challenge questions, but the one I grabbed for this question is Crave by Tracy Wolf. This is another book that I keep seeing on Bookstagram. Somebody actually kindly sent this book to me. This is a gifted copy that somebody bought off of my wish list and sent to me. I unfortunately can't remember who did. I wish I had kept the gift receipt. I do remember I did tell them thank you. It makes me feel so happy that you guys are thinking of me, and like, I don't even need gifts. I do not. Clearly I don't, but I appreciate it so much, especially when some of the gifts I have gotten in the past are like, I saw you were having a bad day, so I wanted to kind of brighten that up. And even though it came like 7 days later or a month later, it still honestly warmed my heart that you guys remember that and just sent me that love, and I appreciate that so much. So I have so many fond memories with this book already, and I hope that I will love this as much as the person who sent it to me did. I do remember that they love this book, so thank you again, and I can't wait to get into this book because also vampires. I, again, don't have that many books on my shelf other than Vampire Academy and apparently that one, A Discovery of Witches. But yeah, alright y'all, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. I really do appreciate your time. If you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure to check out my Bookstagram and my book blog. I would really appreciate it. And if you guys want to, send me a DM on some of the books that you guys saw in this video. Maybe if you like them, if you want to check them out, if you want to know more information, I'd be happy to talk to you about them. So that's it for today. I hope to see you guys in future videos, and I will see you all later. Bye, everybody.